morning, everyone. This is Christina from Christina's Art Corner. Welcome to today's video. I thought I would do something a little different. I had posted on Instagram that I had made this junk journal. This is the first junk journal that I've ever made, and I have not done much as far as decorating it yet. I just wanted to try my hand at making one, and you go big or you go home, and that's why it's so large. Because I got so excited. So I first want to give you a glimpse into what it looks like here. So I have all these different kinds of papers in here, and for the backing, both the cover, the binding, and the back, what I used was this chipboard. So what I did was I took this chipboard and I just laid it out like this. So this was my step one, and then I measured how big I wanted my spine, and then I took an X-Acto knife and I cut down here to make it to size. So you would have, let's see if I have anything about that size, so let's just pretend. So you would have that in the center, and you basically what I did was connect it with this tape here. I got this cute little dog duct tape, and that was able to allow me to connect the pieces like this. And I took some fabrics that I bought. I have a package of these, and they're squares, 10 by 10, and I just took one of these, well, a couple of different ones, but I just went ahead and put the edge up on here. Now I've cut a piece of this so it's shorter than the 10 by 10, but just to give you an overview, really. And I have several glues here. I have Fabric Fusion, and I have Clear Gel Tacky Glue, and Mod Podge Matte. And what I found is for adhering the fabric to the chipboard, that this Fabric Fusion is best. Now it's not super inexpensive, this Fabric Fusion, that's why I got a small bottle just to see how I like it. But that is how I fused, if you will, the fabric to the chipboard. So I had this like this. I have my fabric on there, and then let me just kind of be clean, because otherwise it's such a big job for me to clean up afterward. Okay, so this was chipboard I got from Amazon. Then here on the back, underneath these ribbons, I'll explain those in a minute, I have all of this duct tape, dog tape, if you will, and that secured the binding, because what you have when you have the two chipboards is you have like a fabric overlay on the underneath, because that's what you're attaching the three pieces. And if you all are interested enough that you want me to show you actually how to do it, I will be happy, but I'm just going to do this as an overview. So then I put duct tape over that chipboard. All right, and you'll see I brought it all the way over, and then I have a different pattern here than I do on this side. And then I just took a ribbon, purchased some ribbon. Here it is here. And all these ribbons are these. Okay, this is I'm a Crafter, What's Your Superpower? Share your creative inspiration at prim_trims. And this was the Pastel Perfect set, very cute. And so I took those, and for this I used the, what did I use? I want to say actually that I used the Mod Podge Matte for that. And the reason I did that is it better fused to the duct tape than the Fabric Fusion, because it's on duct tape. Because other glues I was using before were kind of peeling off. So that's a lesson learned on that note. And then I decided to do two of those over here, because my binding on the corner, because when you put all these ribbons, you're kind of cinching it down. So I decided to put a border here and a border here. just to be something in between the duct tape and the fabric. Okay, and then, so how I did the ribbons, this is a note from Monica Carlo. She does the finger toe books, and this I got in an Etsy purchase, which was real nice. This isn't where that's going to remain, but I just wanted to put it there. Oh, before I go to this packets of paper, this is something that I did years ago. I took handmade paper, not by me, but then I did use watercolor, and then for this book to lay it on the inside, because you see you have the fabric that's going to come to about here. You've got the corners glued down, and then you had empty chipboard here. So I went ahead and I laid a piece of paper underneath on each one. You can almost see the edge of it. And I thought, well, I'd like that to be a little stronger. So this paper is a good thickness here. And so I went ahead and used the tacky glue for that. And then I used the, actually I used a clear gesso, acrylic gesso, to go over the top of this. And then I clamped it with a bunch of these all around the corner. Smoothed this down with all the glue underneath. And then I clamped all these areas so that this would stay down. And I did that on both sections. This used to be one piece. I cut it into one, and here you can see the underneath piece. I had actually sealed this with the glitter version of Mod Podge just for fun. This was experimentation. So this is another portion of that I remember just enjoying my time doing this, and so I wanted that in this junk journal. So now we'll go to these, which I learned from watching YouTube channels, and I'll put them in the description of this video so that you can see who inspired me. There are different ways of creating a junk journal, and I kind of took a hybrid of several. Years ago, I had given away my sewing machine, and so, and also I did not have the puncture tool to bind it on the end, which was fine, because really what a no-sew journal is, which is what this is, it allows you to make changes within your papers and what you put in here. So back to these, I learned that these packets of paper are called signatures, right? So let me just go to one here. All right, here's one in the center. Now you could see what I did was that I tied these single strings from the front to the back, and I did them consecutively. There's 11 signatures, so there's 11 strings. And what I did is I tied them back here, double knotted them, and I'm going to use beads to hang off the end of my journal and probably cut off some of the excess. But I thought that would be fun and cute to put some charms and beads on there. Okay, so what I did is I got a bunch of papers. Some of what inspired me to do a junk journal is that I'm not using enough of my paper pads that I have been accumulating over many years. So I have this black paper. I hardly ever use this. This is by Marabou, but it's great black thick paper. So I wanted to use that. And then I have this dry mixed media by Karlzon. And so that is a nice different paper. And then I also used some 300 GSM watercolor papers, and that's in a cabinet that I can't reach right now. Yeah, I have a lot of watercolor pads and mixed media, because that's what I used to do before coloring, is mixed media projects. Okay, so to the packet, I went ahead and folded papers, right? And I had this pad, this weekly planner pad. It's a rip-off pad, and I thought I could put a weekly planner page in there. And then I have some of my own artwork from years ago that I've kept in a Ziploc bag, but I thought it would be nice for them to be in a journal, even though I have folded them. So you'll see one side and the other side. And I can keep them like that. I can collage, I can sticker, I can do whatever I want to these pages. I used gouache to do all of these. gouache on watercolor paper. And then here is my plain watercolor paper, right? So I guess it would be easier to show you. I've got them so tightly in there now, but if I wanted to, I can remove this whole packet because all I have to do is basically slide these papers underneath and pull them out, and I could replace them with other papers. But this is a middle one that I did pretty tight, but you'll see there's still room. So if I wanted to get, I think our mailman might be here, so Shmoo is barking. All right, and then, so I had the watercolor page, right? And then this is the mixed media page. And just to experiment and see what I wanted to do, I took that additional fabric and I just fold and stapled them so that I could have tabs. And I just did them indiscriminately because I wasn't sure. Here I just did a couple of staples here, and I can cover these with things like, let me just show you, tags or collage. On this one, I went ahead and glued this flower letter stamp so it covers the staples on the back. And here are a bunch of mixed media papers that I also use, folded in half. So I have the patterned version, and then I also have a white version. Looks like I got pen on there at some point. But I figured I'll just do anything I want to on these pages, you know, collage, any kind of mixed media thing that I want to do. And then also the next page, you'll see here it is on the other side. This is something else that I did a long time ago, and this was all watercolor. And I also, did I use that? I'm trying to think what my black was here. I believe I used acrylic for in between here. So I did the watercolor and then I highlighted with the black acrylic. So yeah, I have these two. I can keep them in here like this if I want to, or I can do something else with them. And on the back of this, I had, what was I building here? This was an interior plug-in stove top. I think this is when I was sketching out a rough sketch of a tiny house. Yep, that's what I was doing. At one point, I was going to purchase a tiny home in Tennessee for my family to be able to enjoy, but instead I bought a van that I converted into a camper van. It was how many passengers? 20 passenger van. It's about 22 feet in length. So yeah, if you're ever interested in seeing that too, I thought that maybe this spring and summer I would go out in the van and bring my coloring supplies or whatever I want to do. Okay, off tangent. So here we're at the end, you see, and you can see down there the duct tape is in between. And so that's just what I did. I just collected a bunch of papers, folded them, and there's my watercolor paper. Here's something else that I did. This is with this stamp. I have used this tool here, this tool inside here, and I have these blank rubber here, and I went ahead and we have a turtle, and so I just stamped that, used watercolor, gradient, and so I thought that would be fun to have in my journal. It's got some mixed media papers, watercolor, dry mixed media. So you see the pattern that I used. Again, I did another little ruffle here and a tab. Here's also another page that I had. These were all little experimentations that I was doing in watercolor, and I took a pen such as this, the Microns, the archival ink, and I just did design. I did watercolor like circles, and then I just used the Micron, and looks like I did some little dots here and there, little shapes. So I thought it would be nice to have some of my own papers in here along with some blank ones that I can do so much with. And then every signature or packet of paper has that weekly planner should I want to use that, and I can move that planner to any other section that I want, because I still, even though this is a full journal, I have plenty of room to grow in it. So I could just remove this if I didn't want it in here, and same with any of the other papers. possibly what I might do on an additional one. Now, I was afraid because she's thick, right? That I pulled these pretty tight. So if I loosen them even just a little bit, I would have a little more room if I want to take these papers in and out, because I basically just have to pull it from underneath the string and it will be free because I have give in these ribbons. But if I had a little more give, it would be, I don't want to rip these pages since I've already put them in there now. And then here you can see the duct tape on the other edge, right? And I can move these strings over closer or further apart. Let me just put this on a few pages. There we go. So she stays. So what I thought that I would do, okay, so I have several of these stamps. I haven't used them in a long time, and I want to make some more, and I want to use some. I had obviously ocean themed that I was doing. I have a manta ray, hibiscus, I have coral, and I have a turtle. So those are fun for stamping. I thought I could also use my numerous amount of stamps. Let me just put this to the side. I have a ton. I used this on a recent page, actually. If you could see up close here, not sure it's shiny. I used my Sprocket camera, printer, sorry, to print. This is a page that Dusty Coloring and I did, and I used this actually for the background, if you can tell. I'm not sure if you're getting too much shine from that, if you can see it, but I used this with ink, and that sure was fun. And then I also have this guy that we did from Reptiloids, and there's on sticker paper. So I thought that I could put that in this journal as well. And so I have stamps, I have stencils, all different kinds. Got my stamps right in the middle of here. So I have this one on a ring. I believe I got this from Temu a while back. And so there's all different kinds of patterns. Also, I have not used my gel plate in a while and my jelly plate. And I want to get back to using that because I used to use that a lot. And I still have all my supplies. And I have a ton of acrylic paint that I need to be using. Otherwise, it's just going to dry up. I mean, a lot, because I used to do a lot of acrylic painting. Again, prior to coloring. So I have tons of tube paints that I need to go ahead and use. This journal, for me, at least this one, is going to be for expression and maybe to document some things such as, you know, I have not completely chosen whether I'm going to do this in my coloring journal or whether I'll put it in here. I have not decided that yet, so that's why they're loose. I used to do a thermal printer, which was in black and white, to kind of log all of my coloring pages. But I stopped doing that at some point. All right, as I was saying, I just want to experiment, explore, allow myself to, you know, recreate some of my original artwork, as well as, you know, like I could do gel pens, the Sparkle Pop pens, all different kinds of fun gel pens on the black paper. Otherwise, I never use it. And yeah, so that's the intent behind the journal. And again, I have all of these ribbons coming here to the end, and I think, why don't we just go through some of the beads that I intend to use. Now I'm going to jump around here because really there's kind of so much that I wanted to share with you regarding the junk journal. And I probably should have planned step by step, but I was ready to film. It's -8 outside, probably fuzzying my brain a little. But before I show you some of these bead items, I wanted to show you that there are things that I'm going to use, such as this shredded, frosted, bite-sized shredded wheat box. You can cut the top off, right, and the bottom, and you can create a journal just from that, and cut off this side, and then you can cut to size. Like maybe you want, you know, more of like an 8x8 size, or maybe you want a long, narrow. In that case, you could probably get 2 out of here. But this is the kind of stuff that I'm going to use because you don't need to buy a bunch of things. I did, of course, because I had some specific ideas on what I wanted to use. but these kinds of things can be reused. I also am going to reuse this Pipsticks subscription that I get for stickers. Today just got happier. I thought this would be fun to have as a pocket inside my journal or any other journal I decide to make, that I can cut it off halfway and create a pocket. I can even do this with this being sealed. I can make 2 pockets out of that. So I'm just trying to save and reuse and use some old supplies. All right, so let's get to some beads and things. I haven't opened these yet, so we're gonna open them together. Okay. These are keys that I thought would be fun to add to here. For instance, we can take this here, oops, I should actually put it through the proper hole. And then I can create a knot, a knotting system as I put different things on. Like I could have one just for keys, or I could put a key on each one, but look how cute that'll look. So that'll be fun. There's all different kinds in here. Look how many cute ones there are. Got a heart-shaped one. Have this long one here. This one says love. So we have all different shapes and sizes of keys. So that'll serve me well. And I'm probably, in between coloring, going to make some smaller journals. And I can have them for different things. I've thought about dedicating one for my dad and printing pictures of my dad throughout his years and having a little memory book. So I plan on doing that. And what, pray tell, was in here? Let's see. Oh, I think I remember now. This is a charm. This is a charm here. Let me see if I can get you closer in to see it. Let's see here. Look how cute it is. It's a little dragon. I thought that would be fun. So yeah, got this little dragon. I paid a little extra to have the dragon. I love some dragons. I can also even sew this, not sew this, but glue this into my journal. I'm going to be using all this stuff. When I get inspired by these kinds of things, there's no limit. Now let's see if I can tear this without making a mess, because these are all beads. Does anybody else have a hard time opening these after doing this? I sure do. Oh my goodness. Okay, when in doubt, use scissors. Probably didn't get close enough to the opening. That's what it was. So let me see if I can, watch your ears. So there's a bunch of beads that I can use. They've got the little hole in them. Each one of them has a hole. So I'll have to see on some of these have a smaller string than others. Let me just see here. I think I'll have to take a needle in order to get some through. That's probably what I'll do. I don't have a needle at my desk. I do in another junk drawer though. My sewing needles. But anyway, there's lots of cute ones. Here's an oblong pink one. Here's this one. It's a unique shape. So yeah, I got a ton. Runaway bead. We've got here a hexagon, longer one, and here it's full to the brim. What's this clear one? It's a little flower. So yeah, I'm gonna have fun beading up this journal. That was inevitable. Did I catch it? I did. That's what I'm going to do to these strings. And then here is this one, and I don't think I realized at the time that these are already beaded together. Yeah, this is already a beaded necklace, but I can do this. This is fishing line. Oops. I'll have to find where that bead went so that Shmoo doesn't try to pick it up to run my hand along the carpet. Okay, I found one after we're done here. So now we have these beads. How cool, eh? And I thought since they were mixed colors, they would go nicely on there. So that's going to be the beading process. The decor, if you will. And then, all right, something else I wanted to show you that I wanted to get back into. I used to do quite a bit with ink. And I have here a beautiful pen that's iridescent and glittery inside. And so I want to use this dip pen. And then I haven't used a ton of these that it came with, but I have other big bottles here by Herbin. And let's see, which does it say? It's J. Herbin. I'll show you a few. So I have a brown, a minty color, and a rose. I also have an eco line. And here is the Stuart Simple's Blink Black. Is it black? Yeah. Yeah, so I have some of those inks. I need to get them out of this drawer because these things that are in drawers tend to hide away. Here's those rubber stamp pads. Excuse the noise. But each one is packaged, and that's how they start out. And this has been stamped so many times. In fact, I used a gold that's remnant on there. But yeah, I need to use some of these supplies, get them out of my drawers, and spend a little time with them. It's amazing what cold weather and being stuck inside will do. I also bought some mono glue sticks. I saw that this was a preferred, and I have not. I've used other glue sticks, of course, in my mixed media. E6000, I used to make jewelry. I use this a lot, so this can also be used in your junk journals. And then I have the Tombow adhesives. So if you just want to adhere something, you can use that. I have this corner punch, several different corners to use. So that's fun. And bought these cute little scissors. I think those came from Temu. And then I have this gyro cutter. I think I've showed this on my channel before, but you hold this just as you would hold any other blade in an upright position, but it goes in circular or half circular motions. It has a rotating tip on it. I'll just show you. So you can put it down on something and this blade rotates. So you can do fussy cuts with it and do all kinds of different shapes. I was using it in my regular journal, coloring journal, when I was doing my layouts. So that's a fun thing to have. I have needed this pad of paper. Oops, not there apparently. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to using all of my things I've got a Zig two-way glue that I also used to do in my coloring planner. So yeah, I think I've shown you the majority of what I use. I also, I got from Etsy, I got this print on sticker storage book, and this is where I'm keeping my Pip Sticks subscription. You see, I had practiced these losing my words, photos of my coloring. Both of these were with Dusty Coloring. But yeah, they come with, anytime I get any kind of postcard like thing, this is the paper game where I actually got this book from. And then Pip Sticks always provides these different things. I thought this would be great for junk journaling. So I have these in here on the first section. They also include a packet. Let me just show you. I'm getting ideas as we're talking here. Oh, I don't want to squish my little starfish. I'll put that away until I adhere it somewhere. But let's say I wanted to put it here, right? And you can collage over this. This is the Pip Sticks, hey, welcome to this month kind of deal. Here, it's Pippy, right? And there's some fun collage papers in here too. But I can stick this right into my journal and then use this. So you get the idea about if you stick something in here, what you could do with it. You see? And then it can stay in there like that. So that's fun. I could create a bunch of papers that, for instance, are less than this length with ease. Like I said, with my next journal, I'd probably loosen those, but I was wanting to make sure they were in there good. And they are in there good. Anyway, these are all the little sticker sets. There's always a theme, and they're lots of fun. Like I got this disco cowgirl from this set here. They're all just such fun stickers, and they also have the lettering here. Like there's lettering, so you could do that. Anyway, and then here's this phone, this flip phone sticker. So yeah, I think I've kind of given you a generalization. I want to use all of my supplies, my inks, my markers. I could have even put in there alcohol marker paper. That is something that I could include as well. I could stick that in here very easily in any of these pages. But one thing I do like is that other than where the string is at, you can't tell that this is a no-sew, which I like. Until you see the string, you don't know. But yeah, that's it. I hope that just gives you a little roundabout on it and some things that I've been thinking of doing for quite a while. And I think, you know, now that my dad has passed on and I'm not waiting for those phone calls, you know, that something else is wrong or that he's doing worse. Because that was 2.5 years, guys, of that, bless his heart. You know, it was harder on him than anyone. But it stifled some of my coloring consistency and doing other projects. And I named my channel Christina's Art Corner for a reason, because I wanted to do all things. Coloring was my focus, still is my focus, but I want to still be able to do some of these things. And if I just do them off camera and you're not interested, it's not a big deal. I won't be offended. But if you are interested, and I'll be a little more organized about doing step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 kind of thing, yeah, just let me know in the comments and we can create together, and we could make something out of this shredded wheat cereal box and see where that takes us. I just want to have fun and slap color on paper. And a lot of times that just turns into a whole creative cyclone of, and I mean that in a good way, of things that you can do. And these beads and things, this is just a fun thing that I could possibly do with my granddaughter, who's not doing as much coloring these days as she had been. But I'm sure she'll get back into it at some point. Teenagers definitely change their mind about things pretty rapidly. I also want to use some Neocolors, some oil pastels, Neocolor 1 and 2. I also have some other gel sticks, just all kinds of supplies I'd love to use, get better use out of them than just coloring pages, if you know what I mean. So I hope you enjoyed this little intro to this impromptu project that I did, and I hope if you are interested in seeing one being made that you'll let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like this video if you like this. It certainly helps other people see maybe they want to make a no-sew journal and don't have all the fancy doodads to sew it together, because I think this is a strong way of doing it. Personally, I have not bound one by puncturing through your pages and all that, but to be honest, it might be hard on my hand, whereas this was not. This was pain-free, fun, and just an enjoyable thing to do. So I hope you got something out of that. Maybe you can be inspired by some ideas. It's all about ideas, really, isn't it? It's not necessarily following exactly what someone does, as I did this as a hybrid project, but from what I saw. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy whatever art projects you're into, whatever coloring you are doing, and we have 7 more days. I am packaging the books that you all won. It's -8 degrees, so I won't be venturing out to deliver those to the post office, but I will in the next coming days as it warms. At least I want it to be like in the 20s before I venture out of our area here. But yeah, so look forward to those starting to be shipped out by the weekend. And for those international, obviously it will take a little longer to reach you all, but I'm waiting on some mail supplies that I had ordered. I want to make sure that I can protect the books as much as I can. And yeah, so that's what we're doing, and that's what I've been up to. And you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone. Happy coloring!